Pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Tauri trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
Just a little bit
Follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the United States Online Racing League AlphaTauri Cup Series here from the Michigan International Speedway. As always, I'm your host, Joe Twansky. Alongside me tonight, we're doing the double here tonight, Mr. Ricky Collette. Ricky, you got here to Michigan, you got everything set up, it looks nice. Are you ready to go racing here tonight?
I am, Joe, I am, but you know, would that really be a feature then? Are either one of these that we're doing tonight a feature if they're two equally sized fields, more or less? Like a dual presentation?
Well, they're both feature.
Heat 1 and Heat 2.
They're both feature presentations.
It's the A main and the B main.
Anyway,
but I'm excited
here
to be here at Michigan. Yeah, I'm excited to be here tonight at Michigan. This one should be a fun one. Interestingly enough, Daytona was pretty fast. This might actually be faster, Joe. These guys are doing 200 plus down the straightaways here. They're not going any lower than 195 in the turns. I was talking to some guys before the race in practice. They're talking about it. You're not really lifting off at this, Michigan. You're burping it a little bit in the turns here, but this is going to be a fast race tonight. This is a very high speed Michigan.
High-speed Michigan, that is our setting for the second year in a row for the regular season finale here in the USORL Cup Series. Coming into tonight, we pretty much have all the drivers set. We'll take you through those scenarios here in just a moment. But Ricky, we are in happy hour, so that means it's time for you to take us through tonight's starting lineup.
All right, with pleasure, Joe, for tonight's race here at the Michigan International Speedway. We will have 20 cars starting tonight. And starting on pole at a time of 35.371 seconds will be Huang Do in the 01 car. Joining him on the front row is going to be that 45 machinist Sean Whitehill. In third spot, the 12 car Cam Barnes. From the 4th position, Jesse Dalton in the 2 machine. Jamie Zalecki in the 07 will roll up in the 5th position this evening. Steven Merzlak in the 1 will start 6th. Zach Webster in the 95 will start 7th. Zach Krostowski in the 4 car will start 8th. 9th spot goes to Dewey Schramm the 3rd, and 10th spot goes to Darren Ingram the 2nd. In the 11th spot is going to be the 00 machine of Henrietta Bordeaux. And the last car to take a time in qualifying tonight will be the 31 car of Noah Joyce. He's in the 12th spot. Remainder of the field chosen on a random draw. 32 car DJ Harris will start for the 13th spot. 14th position goes to the 77 machine of Jack Healy. 15th spot goes to Davey Hazard in the 75. 16th position goes to the 8 car of Mikey Murata. 17th spot goes to the 14 car Jeff Dixon. Antonio Ruiz in the 11 will start 18th. 19th goes to Garrett Sidner in the 16. And rounding out the field here tonight, the 20th position, will be the 15 car of Ryan Pace. And that's going to be the field for tonight, Joe. 20 cars, good sized field, racy track like this, very drafty. Michigan, very wide place, a lot of lanes. Should be a big wad of cars racing here tonight with this many guys and this many lanes to work with at this high of speeds and all this drafting. Needless to say, it's going to be a fun time.
Going to be a fun time to note tonight, folks. You got to note it. down, make sure if you haven't already, drop a like and subscribe to us here on JTN. Again, it means so much to us when you do. Be a friend, tell a friend, share our streams. Know there's a couple drivers out there streaming tonight too, so shout out to them as always. But Ricky, we saw Daytona earlier with the trucks over at the Shetner Customs Truck Series. Now we're seeing the USORL AlphaTauri Cup Series. It's the regular season finale. I talked about that. We have one spot left for the playoffs here in Season 8. It's going to come down to this. Sean Whitehill and Zach Webster come into the night. 2 points between them. Those two drivers can make it in on points. Jeff Dixon's going to make it in, get that 13th spot of the field of 14 just by starting tonight's race. But for Sean Whitehill, he's got a 2-point lead, so Zach Webster going to have to finish 3 positions better than the 45. Obviously, Sean already with the front row starting position. However, if the 2 of Jesse Dalton or the 00 of Henrietta Bordeaux were to win tonight, they would be the final member of our Season 8 playoffs here in the AlphaTauri Cup Series. And that 2 car, of course, if you flash back to last year, yeah, it had Sean Whitehill behind the wheel, but the 2 car went to victory lane because we had fuel strategy at the end of this Michigan race.
And you know, Joe, with the way that these point structures going, Sean Whitehill putting himself already in a pretty good spot here with that second place starting position. Zach Webster in the 7th spot. So both those cars pretty fast, but you know, that's gonna help the 45 team sleep a little better here, is that they got that speed. They know they have that speed. They have a good setup here that's going to be competitive. And clearly, it's put down a good lap time there. Not as good as Huang Do's, though. Huang Do was in a whole nother planet, about 0.2 faster than everyone in his qualifying run. So we'll have to see how that translates into the race. You'd have to think tonight, with all this pack racing that's going on, there might have to be just a little bit of consideration about stability, you know? Not necessarily having the fastest car, but having a stable car. Because I bet you these guys are running it pretty loose. You see how Darren Ingram just kind of porpoised there a little bit coming off of turn 2. That car just bobbled and bobbled back and forth. Yeah. That's kind of what you're going to be dealing with here tonight if you are putting a weight all the way in the back of that car, trying to get that spoiler out of the air as much as possible, is that it's not going to feel that great going through the turns. It's not going to feel that great on cold tires especially. So we'll have to see if that factors in at all tonight, or if there's enough grip in the track to really let you throw it high, wide, and handsome. Right now you see Huang Do leading these guys in this group. Give you an idea of how this is going, and doesn't seem like he's too worse for wear for that right now.
And Huang Do is your points leader by 11 points over Davey Hazard, so Hazard going to have a pretty good night, and Do in the 0-1 going to have a pretty bad night if Davey were to take that number 1 overall seeding. You see Darren Ingram on your screen there in that 3 car. There's a 3-way tie for the 3rd position right now in points between Darren, Cam Barnes, and Tommy Bordeaux. I do believe the 57 is not here tonight, so that'll kind of take Tommy out of that equation, but for Darren Ingram and Cam Barnes, they're going to see those two probably keeping track of each other throughout the night for that playoff seeding.
Playoffs.
Those bonus points, they always mean something, you know?
They always do. You know, you talked about up front Davey Hazard and Huang Do racing for points. I would say for a lot of these guys that are locked in, I would say, you know, we're talking about the No Bowl is definitely going to be on the line here. The guys that aren't in the No Bowl, I would think really tonight's just going to be another night for them. If I'm that 75 team, if you could get to the 01 car to take that first seed, that's nice. But you know you're going to be in, you're going to be in the playoffs, even if, you know, the points. Even if you do get a little bit of an advantage with that first spot, your one bad night could still derail everything in the playoffs. So right now, I think it's just good to get your feet underneath you, make sure you're competitive, make sure you're fast out there, and just focus on the race at hand. Because even if, you know, one thing statistics you never really talk about is just having that momentum. There's that nature of being up front, thinking you're the fastest guy out there does a lot for your mental state. So if you're just out there logging laps, being up front with these guys, rubbing elbows with everyone, you're not really going to care where you're finished in the points going into the playoffs. All that you know is that you're fast, you have the competitiveness to win, and that's all you're going to need to. You have everything at your disposal to go and do some crazy stuff here when the playoffs start. So, in conclusion, yes, because I know that there wasn't really a point to this ramble. I just started saying it, but I do think that for Davey Hazard, this is more or less just a normal night for him.
Yeah. You see one of the drivers in our Noble 4. This is the fourth of those races, of course, those 4 races. DJ Harrison, the 32. The other 2 competing for it tonight are the 1 of Steven Merzlak and the 4 of Zach Krastowski. Dewey Schramm flying down the pit lane for the 12th time tonight.
You know, time just ran out on a happy hour here, so these guys are just waiting for it to click them over to the race.
We're in this holding pattern now as we wait for the start of the race. There you see Cam Barnes, that other driver competing for that 3rd overall seating in the play youth points. But a lot of these drivers tonight, Ricky, I think, you know, we're ending the regular season. Obviously, not everyone has the same opportunity or probably feels like they have the same odds of winning tonight. But we saw earlier today in the Kentucky Derby, it doesn't really matter what your odds are. If your horse is just fast and it decides to bite the other horses, you could find yourself in victory lane.
That is true. I would hope, Joe, that whoever wins tonight does not try to eat the competitors. I don't know if that's a fool's errand, but I would at least like to hope that these guys would think about that restraint. Again, though, I think expect them to eat each other.
And Dan Asher in chat, thank you, Dan, giving us that final kind of piece of the puzzle in terms of, we talked about Jeff Dixon has to make it 2-lap 20. Got to make it through lap 20 to make it to get that final spot based on the provisional. So important to watch there to make sure the 14 makes it far enough in this race. But we talked about it. Sean Whitehill there on the front row to the outside of Huang Do. That's your row number 1. Then Cam Barnes, Jesse Dalton, row number 2. That was your Circle B Diecast race preview. Remember to use code JTM at checkout for free shipping on your order of $30 or more. Jamie Zalecki and Steven Merzlak make up row number 3, with row 4 being Zach Webster and Zach Krastowski. A Zach and Zach attack there in 7th and 8th. Rounding out your top 10, of course, will be Dewey Schramm, the 3rd in the 36, and the 3 of Darren Ingram. Dodge Challenger pace car makes its way down the pit lane as we get ready to start the regular season ender here in Michigan. Green flag, we're underway from the motor, just outside the Motor City.
Huang Do gets a good push from Cam Barnes here. Going to send it down into turn 1, holding this lead. Cam Barnes already looking to that inside.
Points ever so important for the 12 team here tonight. Again, trying for that 3rd seed in the play-offs. Cam Barnes there up into the lead. Huang Do going to fall back to 2nd. Jamie Zalecki in 3rd. Lap counter looks like it's a little off, folks. We'll get that fixed for you when we get the chance.
Huang Do really up there by that outside wall. You see Sean Whitehill getting to the inside of him. Going to draft off the 95, Zach Webster. Those 2 cars battling for that cutoff spot like we were talking about.
And if you're
down here into turn 1.
And if you're Sean Whitehill, as long as you can keep Zach Webster out in front of you, right? He has to get 3 spots ahead of you. Because those 2 points back, the tiebreaker going to the 45 team. So you just got to keep him close. But right now, Whitehill kind of falling back, doesn't have the draft as everyone's starting to navigate their way to the outside.
You see our leader there, Cam Barnes, really up at that outside, but Jamie Zalecki, completely different strategy, riding around down bottom. You can see where Zalecki gets a good run on him going through the turn, but you see that the 12 car just gets a great run coming off, being able to carry that momentum around on the high line. So we'll have to see how this goes. I was listening in, Joe, during practice. Davey Hazard said something interesting at 75 team, that their car actually seemed like it started to handle the low line better as the run went on, which seemed kind of counterintuitive to what you would expect to happen. So keep an eye out for these guys on if they're able to run that low line a little better later in the run compared to early on this cold rubber. But you see right now, Jamie's lucky to the inside of Cam Barnes. Zach Webster going to the inside of the 07, though. Webster wants to take that second spot away.
And we're under caution
Back
for the
under
first
caution.
time. Not back. We're under caution for the first time tonight. Looks like Jack Healy around rear end damage to that 77 Waste Management Toyota. Although, I don't think he's the first guy around. It looks like the two of Jesse Dalton into the wall.
Joe, it looks like Jesse Dalton coming into turn 3. Jesse Dalton was in the 8th spot, I think. Coming into turn 3, looks like he was just a little too far up high and got stuck in the wall, and when he came off of it, the car spun around.
And Jeff Dixon involved in that, talked about it's important for that 14 team to make it 20 laps into this thing. Already some heavy damage to that 14 car.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one for Jeff Dixon here. We'll see what happens when he comes down pit road. I think moderate damage here, so...
Should be okay, right?
But, the 70, I don't know if I'd say okay just yet. You didn't get any front-end contact with that wall, so that's good. But when Healy got into him, That was a hard collision. So we'll see. I'm hesitant to say that car's going to be good. We'll have to see what happens after these repairs on pit road.
Jamie Zalecki and Noah Joyce staying out on track. Henrietta Bordeaux as well. Rest of the field coming on down. We're going to take this opportunity. Try to fix this lap counter for you folks at home. So, look, you get to see some movie magic tonight. You saw some magic earlier with the server. Now you get to see this random box here with the lap counter. Isn't that crazy, Ricky?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JTN Behind the Scenes. We got this wacky little box here, and it's going to tell you all the lap times. Your suspension of disbelief has been torn asunder here tonight at the Michigan International Speed Track Raceway Park.
It's like Darren
Incorporated.
Ingram. I believe this is one of those patented early race two-tire stops for the 3 team of Darren Ingram as well. And get 2 of those. You
know, Joe, the other thing I was hearing was that through the grapevine, everything was through the grapevine tonight. But what I was hearing too was that tire wear is not too bad for what they're doing for speed. I don't know. I heard a kind of a split opinion. I heard tire wear is bad. I heard tire wear isn't bad. I'll have to see, but you'd have to think tire wear's got to mean something here with how fast they're going. Like you'd have to get tight if you're on worn rubber for too long, but. Darren Ingram doing a great little bit of strategy there with taking 2 tires to leapfrog a few guys. I'd imagine that this time by, they'll probably be choosing, which I think the choose cone's on the other side of the track.
Yeah. Yeah, they have it on the back here. Don't you fear. Underdog is here.
The choose cone is here.
But Jamie Zalecki going to have first choice, then Noah Joyce, Henrietta Bordeaux, Darren Ingram, and Cam Barnes, your top 5 after pit stops. A couple more cars down on the pit lane. Looks like Mikey Murata, Steven Merzlak, Jeff Dixon, Antonio Ruiz, and Garrett Sidner. Hearing from Sidner earlier on tonight, it really felt like that 16 team, despite they're right now running, they're 10th in points. You know, obviously we're going to get the reset and the reseed of everyone, but the 16 team sounds pretty confident in the way their season has gone to date. 2 wins, of course. It took them a while to get a win last year. Or they might not even gotten a win last year. I don't remember. It was so long ago now, but for Sidner and the 16 team, really confident, really feeling good about where they are so far this year. Is everyone going to be choosing here? See, the bottom line was preferred for Cam Barnes, for Zach Webster, but then a lot of folks decided to take the top. No Ty Majeski letting you off the hook tonight either. You saw that last night, right?
Yeah.
He just ran over the choose cone and they said Nah, no worries. All right, getting ready to go green flag racing here. Jamie Zalecki with control here. Noah Joyce to the outside. Green flag. We're back underway here from Michigan. Zalecki out into the lead all by himself. Got Noah Joyce there in second. Joyce now looks to the inside down the back straightaway. A good bit of momentum from that 31. That Chevy nose in the air always works so good. Joyce up into the lead, but Zalecki going to try the crossover coming off of 4.
Crossover seems to work. Zalecki side by side with Joyce. See Davey Hazard giving that 07 some drafting help down there on the bottom. That's going to help Zalecki's case here to make it back past this 31. Jamie Zalecki back to the lead here, but now Davey Hazard making a charge for this lead.
And Zalecki, of course, has a bunch of Ally Financial folks here at the track this weekend. Ally, of course, headquartered in downtown Detroit. About an hour down the road. But right now, the battle heating up for second between a Chevrolet and a Toyota. That's Noah Joyce on the outside. Davey Hazard on the bottom. Future teammates there battling for the second position. We always talk about how you treat a teammate. How do you treat a future teammate? Is that different than maybe any other competitor out on the track, or?
Yeah, I'd say so. I would say so. I mean, the problem is right now they're all racing for their own self-interests of this season. So for that team, it's important to. You're still working for that team, so you don't want to upset those guys because you know you got to work with them next year. But right now, in terms of competitiveness, you're still racing them.
Working lap 10 here from Michigan. Hazard looking for the lead as we head down into turns 1 and 2 to the inside of Jamie Zalecki. Zalecki has led since the first caution of the race. Hazard now takes it over off of turn number 2. You see further on back, Zach Webster falling back all by his lonesome there on the bottom. Remember to keep an eye on the 95 and 45 right now. Whitehill running back there in, I believe, the 7th or 8th position. So good run going for the 45. 95 falling back here in the second run of the race as Cam Barnes now coming to the front.
Davey Hazard hanging on to this lead right now with Noah Joyce starting to get a challenge from Cam Barnes coming around the outside. Joyce starting to mix it up a little bit, trying that low line. Something to Jamie Zalecki, starting to drop back a little bit here, looks like, down to 4th spot with Darren Ingram right behind him here, Sean Whitehill right behind him. Darren Ingram cuts the inside of Zalecki. Joe, that 07 looks like he's starting to have some handling woes.
Well, and remember, no tires, right?
Yep.
I didn't expect, though, only having 3 laps to be that big of a difference with what you said, but obviously for Zalecki, who was running out in front of the field, probably running the car pretty hard, starting to fall back here, Ricky, and I think that's something these drivers are going to note. You also look at Darren Ingram, who took 2 tires. He seems to be struggling now as we've gotten into this run.
Sure you see the 16 almost up into that outside wall there.
That's Garrett Sidner in that 16 Crunchyroll Toyota. He's got Huang Do behind him. Remember the Noble 4 competitors. DJ Harris currently the leader among those drivers. You see back of your screen in the 32.
See a 31, Noah Joyce starting to get a challenge from Sean Whitehill. Sean Whitehill's car hanging on pretty tough here. Looks like it's starting to come to a little bit, this 45 machine.
Well, you know, Sean Whitehill, Mikey Murata, they went to the Team Tulansky School of Driving at Michigan. So I have Ryan Pace similar, but for Whitehill and Murata, of course, they were they finished 1-2 here last year, so we know they know their way around this racetrack, right? We know they know their way around the fuel strategy that always seems to come into play here at Michigan. So those are kind of the two drivers that are going to be sneaky ones to watch tonight. No surprise right now to see the 45 up towards the front. There's the battle for the lead, though. Cam Barnes to the inside of Davey Hazard. No love lost here between these two, as Barnes is on the bottom trying to make his way around that 75. Remember, manufacturer supremacy always wanting to be the manu, the OEM that reigns supreme here at Michigan. Ford back to the top as Cam Barnes takes over the lead.
Davey Hazard staying right there with Cam Barnes. So you see Davey's got to come to the inside here, trying to make a run on this middle line. Cam Barnes going to try it around this high line. Hazard almost gets underneath him, but not yet, just necessarily. A little smoky on the front straightaway. Not sure what that's about, but I don't see anyone over here, and we're still green, so we're good.
Right, Jeff Dixon is currently coming off of turn number 2. That's the closest to these leaders. I don't know if maybe something happened with the 14. See if we get an update on that. But right now, further on back, Sean Whitehill working to the inside of Noah Joyce. Noah faring very well right now on those older tires compared to Zalecki and Henrietta Bordeaux, who also stayed out.
3 wide here. Noah Joyce in the middle. They thin back out as Garrett Sidnor falls behind the 31 here to give him a big push down the straightaway. Sean Whitehill trying to challenge him. That 31 big bobble almost got into the outside wall a little bit.
I was going to say, I think Garrett gave him a little too much of a push there. As now they're going to be 3 wide for the 3rd position for a moment. Whitehill still on the bottom, now going to get help from Darren Ingram in the 3 and Mikey Murata in the 8, although Darren going to look to make it 3 wide on the bottom.
Darren Ingram on the bottom here, 3 wide right in the middle. Sean Whitehill trying to hold tough. He's going to be able to pull away from Ingram, stay 2 wide here. 16 of Garrett Sidner being right up by the top there. Meanwhile, up front, the leaders haven't changed. We'll tell you if they change, but right now they're staying about same gap. This is a good battle back here, Joe, and Sean Whitehill now on the inside of DJ Harris in the 32. DJ Harris starting to move up right on the outer fringe of the top 5 here.
Remember, DJ, of course, again, looking for that Noble 4 money. Highest runner of those drivers. Next highest is the 4, that green and yellow car towards the back of this pack, Zach Krastowski.
Oh, the 12 of Cam Barnes is into the outside wall, Joe. He's stuck up here. The field's going to come right on by him, but this is a big shake-up in this race. That is our leader, and he is effectively stopped on the track right now. He's got back rolling again.
Be careful.
We stay green here.
Cars coming off the corner having to be careful, but the right side of that 12 car is all tore up, folks. This isn't Darlington. You're not used to seeing that here at Michigan. Cam Barnes, heavy contact to that Aflac duck there on the passenger side of that race car.
Yeah, and Joe, what looked like happened there was that Cam Barnes just came into turn 3 there, and the car just got loose and bobbled. It almost looked like he lost a tire the way the car shot into the outside wall, but it looked like the rear end stepped out ultimately. He tried to catch it, and it just sent him into the outside wall. So good thing Cam Barnes didn't spin. Good thing no one wrecked with him. That means he can fight another day here if he gets a caution. But unfortunate, because he now has to make up all of that ground out here.
And that was all by himself,
Davey
right?
Hazard.
That was
yeah,
all
that was
by
all
himself?
by himself.
Okay, so we'll... while the racing continues to be hot and heavy up here towards the front, we'll keep an eye on this instead of taking a look at the replay. But for Cam Barnes, that's got to be a disappointment. Now you're hoping for a caution because he has lost all his track position, obviously, and will have to pull out the right side fenders there.
Davey Hazard now kind of just holding command all by his lonesome, but 35.8 compared to Garrett Sidner's 35.6. His draft definitely means a lot. I don't think Hazard can really fare out here by himself for too long with these guys all drafting behind him. But DJ Harris is now up to that 3rd spot. Sean Whitehill settling in at 4th here. These guys starting to single file out a little bit. I think you're starting to see a lot more of where those tires are starting to come into play with some of this character, with some of these guys out here. And some of the character in these setups, short run versus long run, in terms of how they're racing around here. We got 3 wide here. Huang Do in the middle. This is going to be for that 7th spot, I believe, with Mikey Murata on the outside in the 8th position at the moment. Mikey's got to throw it in here into 1 and 2. We'll see if he can get the run coming off. But right now, Huang Do looks like he's got a fast car.
Looks like that 8 car is starting to fade away here as we're about 15 laps into this run on these tires. So That's something to note. This is probably where we're going to start seeing some of these guys start to lag back a little bit. Doe makes the pass. Ryan Pace back there in the 15, our Talladega winner from 2 weeks ago. Last time the USORL was on JTN. And Zach Webster there in the 95 again, competing with Sean Whitehill for that final playoff spot.
Eric Sidner again about 2/10 faster than Davey Hazard. You can see that he's just coming closer and closer. It really is just these guys over in the draft here having that little bit of advantage over Hazard running by himself. Davey's running fast lap times. 35.8s aren't anything to sneeze at. It's just that he doesn't have any drafting help. He'll probably pick up to a 35.6 as soon as these guys get to his back bumper. But for the moment now, looking in chat, getting an update on this. Jeff Dixon is now locked in.
So it is on between the 95 and 45. See Ryan Pace making a pass on Mikey Murata there. Pace's 15 car starting to come to life. Has been pretty good at these big tracks this year. Good run going at Anchorage.
A lot could change right now. Joe, but Zach Webster about to lose a position to Zach Rostowski here. I think that'll put him in the 11th spot, so Webster actually going outside the top 10 here as Whitehill running around 4th. So right now Webster's got some work to do on that car. It was fast earlier, but it seems like it's fallen away a little bit. As we're talking though, Noah Joyce in the 14th spot, the 15th spot. He was just up front there, coming down to pit road, so it might be the first round of green flag pit stops we're seeing here.
And remember, Noah stayed out, so just fuel shouldn't have been too different. But right now, Noah Joyce would be the first of those leaders, like you said, Ricky, to come down the pit lane. So an interesting thing there to note is how fast that car is. Is Jamie Zalecki also going to come down that 07?
00 Henrietta Bordeaux coming down right behind him.
So those are the 3 that stayed out. So that gives us we can probably go about 23, 22 laps on fuel. So of course we had those caution laps added in there. So the rest of these leaders should be coming in the next 5 laps.
Getting a report down from pit row. The 31 strategy when he stayed out was that he was banking on a yellow. So I think some of these guys having to submit to that. But you got to think that the rest of the field's going to be coming relatively soon here.
What a run going right now for the 32 of DJ Harris. Into the playoffs, right now sitting 11th in points. Still looking for the first win of the year, but for DJ, again, part of that Noble Force, so a little bit of extra incentive to do good here tonight. That 32 team has that car humming so far.
11 of Antonio Ruiz now on pit road here. These guys still riding around. Most of the leaders still at full song here, so I don't think they're coming down just yet, but definitely starting to thin out the field here a little bit as these guys have been maneuvering for everyone coming to pit road, jumping out of line. Sean Whitehill still riding around that 4th spot, doing a great job here. There's a battle here. Ryan Pace and Zach Webster, 7th and 8th spot. Zach Webster to the inside. Ryan Pace, we haven't really talked about Ryan yet. Started at the back of the field, dead last just on random draws. He didn't take a time in qualifying. Started to move his way up through the field here. Obviously some guys have pitted, so I'm sure this is going to cycle around, but run 7 doing a great job. Davey Hazard coming down this side. DJ Harris coming down this time. So this should be all of the leaders will start coming down here. Mikey Murata's going to come with, and Zach Rostowski will be the 4th car on pit road of this group. And Cam Barge is coming down as well.
So Garrett Sidner's still out there with Sean Whitehill a little bit back there in that 45 running second. Top 5, 6 still out on the track. Have to think they're coming in the next lap or 2. I think Sean's coming this time. Going to get to the bottom here into 3 and 4. And really have to be careful, too, about managing how conservative you are coming to the pit lane. You see Darren Ingram being really aggressive there, looking to the outside of the 45. Sean going to get really aggressive to the line because Michigan has one of these weird pit lanes where you have a decent flat surface to kind of slow the car down as everyone's single file nice and orderly down the pit lane.
Yeah, and a big dash of guys down here this time. Supermarket sweep on pit road here. But we'll see who comes down, who can get some time on pit road. You want to make sure you hit this pit stall. Last thing you want to do is overshoot it. Especially with the draft being so heavy, and that's just what happened. Sean Whitehill having a moment here with the way Cam Barnes came out pit road. Had to check up, almost didn't get into his pit stall.
Well, that could be some costly time there for the 45 team. You see Davey
Jesse
Hazard.
Dalton into 2 just missed his pit box a little bit, had to roll back, and that's going to hurt him as well.
See Davey Hazard still with the lead. See where he cycles out in comparison to the 16 of Sidner. Sidner lost a lot of time there. Is Darren Ingram going to win the race off the pit lane? As we talked about that, another thing to note, Jamie Zalecki, Noah Joyce back up to 3rd and 4th as things cycle out. So pit doing the short pit ended up getting them some more of that track position back. But another thing to watch, Ricky, is going to be how many stops do they have to make? Are they going to have to save fuel if this thing runs green to the end? Which I would have to think a lot of these drivers probably aren't planning on this thing running green to the end.
I wouldn't think so, no. Always has something going on.
As we've made it through our first cycle of green flag pit stops, you see Ryan Pace and Zach Webster battling for position here, down to 1 and 2. Pace going to get it. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Make sure if you haven't already, you drop a like and subscribe to us here on JTM. We got all kinds of great broadcasts coming up for you, including this Tuesday night, the Maverick Cup Series from Gateway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. Then it's the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from Kansas and the USORL Cup Series from Iowa. Bunch of great racing Tuesday, then every other night through next Saturday, May 14th, right here only on JTN. Shout outs to all the folks tuning in. Jason Awesome Gaming, Mr. J Perfect, Melispo, Dan Asher, of course. Dan runs the Chase Briscoe Nation. Dan, I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry if I did. But runs the big Chase Briscoe fan club, or as part of running it. And, of course, Benjamin Snyder, Maverick Cup Series League Administrator. So thank you, folks, for tuning in and chatting with us. Keep up the chats. Be a friend, tell a friend about our streams here. We appreciate it when you do. And as always, thank you so much for all your support of us here on JTN as we watch Davey Hazard with the lead.
Davey Hazard still got the lead here, but DJ Harris right with him, trying to see if he can find a way around this 75 car. As they've been racing, though, Jamie Zalecki in that 3rd spot. 4th spot goes to Noah Joyce. So these guys that pitted a little early with Zalecki and Joyce ended up shuffling out pretty well here for pitting early. Gave them some extra time there on track on fresh rubber compared to these guys. Unfortunately, if they don't get a caution, that rubber is going to eventually start to give out and the handling is going to go away on those cars.
Really, those top 4 being pretty uniform right now. Back here, further on, what is this, 5th through 10th or so? 5th through 12th, rather. All in line as well. You'd figure having more cars together, you'd be able to run down those top 4, but it hasn't seemed to be the case so far here just yet, Ricky.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they're actually running slower lap times than these 4 together, so I think the issue is that, you know, it's like normal super speedways. When you're racing side by side too much, it kind of hurts your bottom end there. It hurts your time a little bit. These guys need to be like single file, just working together to get that speed to gain on these guys. But for the moment, they're just running very fast times. Davey Hazard's still just running 35.4s, while the rest of this field is only running 35.6s. Oh, big moment off turn 4. Zach Krastowski gets loose, hangs onto it, but he side slaps that outside wall a bit. Pretty big scuff on the side of that 4 Columbia Chevrolet. But great save by Zach there. That thing definitely got out from underneath him.
Well, the right side of that car is absolutely destroyed. And Zach, of course, won the race at the sister track to Michigan, Anchorage, earlier this year after some late race heroics. So Krastowski got win number 1 here in the AlphaTauri Cup Series, looking for win number 2 tonight. But, you know, probably brought the same car here tonight, so I know that 4 car is going to have some speed once they get the damage buffed out there on the right side when they get the opportunity. Ryan Pace has moved up into the 6th position around Huang Do in the 0-1. Again, keeping the eye, there's Sean Whitehill in the 45. Back of this train is, of course, the 95 of Zach Webster. So again, Sean's got that 2-point cushion over the 95. So Webster have to finish 3 positions better than the 45 team. get that oh so crucial final play spot.
Guys are racing around up front, Joe. I've noticed that Jamie's Lucky and Noah Joyce are running some of the fastest laps on track just because they're riding around in that draft. We talked about it. I guess those older tires aren't really as much of a hindrance as we thought, or at least when you're single file like this and you can kind of dictate which line you can go into. It helps that these guys can just trail around on that draft, but for the moment, staying close with our leaders, DJ Harris and Davey Hazard. Harris has been right on Davey's back bumper here the entire time. Just can't really get that second bit of edge, though, to get right alongside him.
Mm-hmm. Antonio Ruiz down on the pit lane. Again, kind of approaching those pit stops here. Doesn't feel like we should be, but we are. Yeah, as you get more of these green flag runs, do you get more comfortable with your setup? Do you start thinking about more change? As Ryan paces into the wall off of turn number 2, Whitehill has to make some aggressive maneuvers. Darren Ingram going to make an even more aggressive maneuver, try to go for a twofer. To watch this battle, Ricky, are you like, oh, Whitehill going to get the wall?
Oh, no.
That's going to allow Zach Webster to get a good run here. And that looks like it was a product of that 3 of Darren Ingram being to the inside and maybe Sean getting a little nervous.
Yeah, but luckily Sean got out of that wall pretty quick. I actually won't see much damage on the side of that 45, so I think he'll live to fight another day here. These guys coming by the 36 of Dewey Schramm to put him a lap down. A question in chat about if the open setup here. I think you already answered it, Joe. But yeah, it's open setup here. These guys racing. But it's a fun time.
It is a fun time.
Some pretty good racing right now. And it's interesting how this is all kind of falling together because Hazard and Harris have just checked out from the field. And Noah Joyce and Jamie Zalecki on those older tires just hanging on for dear life on their draft, and it seems to be working for them. Noah Joyce has ran a pretty fast lap last time by. Zalecki's trying to hang with him. I don't know if he's going to be able to hang with him for much longer. It looks like that 07 is starting to really kind of lose some ground to these guys, but at some point, yeah, Joe, at some point, as we saw Antonio Ruiz come down pit road earlier, these leaders are going to have to come back down. Especially that 3 and that 07 who are on a different pit cycle are going to have to come back down.
Ricky, as we watch these top 2 kind of start to separate themselves from the rest of the field, we go back to the second pack of cars. Sean Whitehill's made his way back around Zach Webster, so that kind of puts that final play spot back in the hands of the 45 a little more firm. As we close in on these pit stops, what behind the wheel are you taking note of? Because obviously there's some changes you can make. You can play around with your tire pressures. You can take some wedge in, put some wedge out, raise, lower the track bar. How aggressive do you get making a call here with making a pit stop before halfway versus maybe making a pit stop with only a quarter of the race left?
Well, I guess it's tough because it's such a grippy track. I think wedge is going to be your best friend here, trying to take out as much as possible. If I were a betting man, I would say a lot of these guys, since it was open setup tonight, probably have that wedge all the way to the left already if they don't already.
Right.
But tire pressures can also do it. If your car's getting loose coming off the turn, you could probably take like a half pound out of that right rear to help give you something to lean on a little bit more. I've always found that's pretty useful. You can put a little bit there if you need to loosen it up. Track bar. Probably won't do you a whole ton unless you're really tight coming off the turn for some reason. One thing I think all these guys should be keeping an eye out for is that motor heat and tire wear. Only 70 degrees out here, normal conditions. But if you can put more grill tape on that car, you're going to go faster here. It's just a balancing act with how much you think you're going to be in the track compared to how much you're going to be out in the open.
Nicky Murata almost had inside positioning there on Darren Ingram. Saw that 3-car get a little wicked loose. You see Steven Merzlak kind of making his way up through this group. Caught the draft of the 0-1 of Guangzhou. Was able to reel these guys back in. They like to get pretty close to that wall coming off of turn 4 now as the run goes on. I don't like it. I hold my breath every time, Ricky, and it's not healthy. Got Crypto Bro Darren Ingram here sitting in 6th. That's what FTX is, I believe. Steven Merzlak, really big lunges now down into the corners in that one car. Did he pit yet, Ricky? Did he already pit, maybe? Or did he just do such a good job of saving his tires compared to everybody else?
I'm not sure, actually.
This one car is fast.
He's running 35.5s, which is probably indicative of him coming down pit road, I would think, but... he came down
We're very good at
last
research here.
Lap 20, at lap 30, so...
No, so yeah, he's on the same tires as these guys, so he just ran this group down and is now dicing his way through, so impressive run against Steven, part of the Noble 4 field here tonight, along with Zach Krostowski and DJ Harris, to Turn Left Incorporated entries.
As we're talking, Joe, 31, the 07 down on pit road, though, so Jamie Zalecki, Noah Joyce coming off right now on those fresh tires, so this will take him to the next run. We've seen that it really doesn't hurt him that bad to be short pitting these guys, because it gave him a lot of ground on some of these people out here. We'll see what happens this time, because you saw it got him up to 3rd and 4th. If they can leapfrog Davey Hazard and DJ Harris here, running around out there together. Actually, no, they won't be running out there together because 31 came off pit road, but Zalecki's still down there.
Yeah, Zalecki off the pit lane, so I believe probably waited a lap. On a lap longer than the 31, we'll see how they kind of merge together. Noah right now coming into turns number 1 and 2.
Henrietta Bordeaux coming down pit road. That was another car that came with the 07 and the 31 last time, I believe.
And they did make it about, they made it about 25 laps or so, so should be in a good window to make it on one more stop. Interesting to see when our leaders decide to come down the pit lane. As the battle's on for what is 3rd right now between the 16 and the 1. Sean Whitehill down the pit lane, Ricky?
No, he's not.
He's at the back of this field. I wonder what happened there, because Zach Webster has moved up a couple spots. That 95 doing a good job of saving those tires, and now would be the last driver in the playoffs.
Interesting development indeed, but we definitely got some time here. A lot of pit stops to be had before we give this race away to anyone specific. So I have to see what happens. But right now, Zach Webster over the line. So this whole point situation's got a little more interesting.
Yeah, Webster, 4 points right now, 4 spots better than Sean Whitehill, so that would move him into that last playoff spot, looking for a 5th here on Darren Ingram in the 3.
Get a report from the 31 team. Looks like he came over the radio saying, "This fuel about to make me pit for an extra time, huh? Agony." So we'll see if this 31, this 07 can make it on one more stop. It could totally be possible that they can't get to the end on fuel from here.
Darren Ingram around. One car around. Ingram into the tires. Oh, no.
Oh, my word. And that's going to end his night, Joe.
Is it? Well, he gets the tow.
He's towed back.
No caution.
No caution, really?
I don't think
I guess
so.
it was a single car incident, wasn't it?
Let's get you a replay. You saw it live, you see it again.
Ingram saying his game froze. That is very unfortunate.
Here's a look back at it. Ingram loose coming to the pit lane. He said game froze. Very weird pit entry. You also saw Steven Merzlak go around, but manages to stay out in front of the rest of these guys. Gonna be the first off the pit lane of this group. Now this puts the 45 and the 95 closer together. Whitehill gonna look to the inside of Webster. A little more speed on that 45 coming off the pit lane.
Yeah, Joe, the 3 is out with the accident. That's very unfortunate for Darren Ingram. Had a very fast car tonight, but those barrels just immediately nuked that car when he made contact with him.
An unfortunate end that takes him out of the running, too, for third place in the points. They're going to fall all the way back, looks like. We're going to fall to 4th. So I believe Tommy Bordeaux not showing up tonight would get less points than Darren. So, unfortunate race ender for Darren Ingram in the 3 car. We saw that a couple weeks ago at Daytona, had some issues with the game. So that team going to have to try to focus on getting some of those software bugs figured out here before the playoffs start.
Going around here, Davey Hazard assumed the lead again. DJ Harrison second. Jamie Zalecki right with them. But you see Noah Joyce actually a little bit back and forth. Quite a ways back, actually, about 4 seconds. So completely out of the leader's draft. This is probably not where Joyce wants to be. Now, Joe, we talked about that. I think that Zalecki came in a lap after Joyce. You got to wonder how close that fuel is if Jamie Zalecki can make it on doing one more dot with the rest of these guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. Yeah, I think Zalecki's already starting to clutch it, so I think that should be enough of a... I'm going to watch him going down into 3 this time. Looks like smoke off a pit lane. Looks like we're okay. Let's watch this 07 car, see if he's clutching it. Nothing yet. That'll
With
be
how fast you're going around here, Joe, I almost don't know if you could clutch it.
I feel like you could still clutch it. You'd lose time. But right now, you're kind of coming up on a pack of cars, and of course, we always talk about it, right? The pack of cars punches a bigger hole in the air, and yada, yada, yada. So you kind of get that added speed of the draft. Right now is the perfect time to, if you're going to clutch. Pop that clutch in, save a little fuel, it cuts the motor off. You're not consuming that extra gas. Get yourself a lap or 2 if you're cutting it close. Because remember, we have overtime here in the USORL as well. So it's a beauty of those manual cautions that we always talk about here in the USORL. But it's definitely another thing we're going to have to keep an eye on is fuel, and if we get one of those pesky overtime finishes. Looks like there's a car that went around. It's Dewey Schramm in the 36, tore up on the front end of that car. No, Dewey's a fan favorite. Let's get you a replay. Dewey Schramm the 3rd wrecked off of turn number 4.
That's unfortunate for Dewey.
Gonna go up, hit that outside wall, go for a spin. Oh, barely clips those barrels. And that checkers... Good.
As this is all going on, look at our leaders. Davey Hazard just stuck in traffic right now. Wall of the 2 of Jesse Dahl and Henrietta Bordeaux, both ahead of him, trying to race for position. Hazard's trying to get through him, but you got to think that he's also trying not to rock the boat too much because he doesn't want to do anything that's going to let DJ Harris get ahead of him. But all this time in traffic has helped Jamie Zalecki actually kind of get back in touch with these leaders, start to suck back up to them. So Zalecki's still hanging tough right behind them in this 3rd spot.
A lot of comments coming from the 36 teams that should not make our airwaves, but it sounds like Daly and crew felt like they had a good car after Monday night's Lights Series race here from Michigan, and now after tonight did not feel the same way. Did they run cup physics with the Lights Series on Monday, Ricky? I don't believe so. Yeah, so see the team a little frustrated about not making any changes to the setup. As we're slowing down here, caution is out for the 2nd time tonight. What is this for?
Looks like Jeff Dixon, maybe? Oh, Huang Do and Steven Merzlak up in turn 2. Looks like Steven Merzlak comes into 1 here. Actually, Huang Do gets into him in the 0-1. Almost spins him around, makes contact with that outside wall. Huang Do just gets stuck up there too.
There you see it.
Get confirmation in chat that Fit Lights is ran with Cup Physics.
Little blooper incident here. Working lap 61 now of 120. So this, I have to think a lot of folks are probably going to come down the pit lane here, Ricky.
Yeah, Joe, this really helps Jamie Zalecki, and this really helps Noah Joyce, who didn't know if he could make it with the rest of this field on one more stop on fuel.
Get you back on similar strategy. How many people, though, maybe you saw Darren Ingram earlier do pretty good with 2 tires? How many people?
That is true, but the question is, it's been a little bit, it's been some time since those pit stops. I don't know if you got enough, around in chat here, getting some idea of where everyone is. A report from the 15 of Ryan Pace that he was good on fuel for one more stop. He is not happy right now. Which, it sounds about right. That sounds about on brand for Ryan Pace, who is the unmitigated master of saving fuel in the most absurd situations.
Well, here comes the situation. If we get a couple quick cautions here, it's going to be an interesting run. Zalecki, the first off the pit lane, then Hazard, DJ Harris, Noah Joyce, Henrietta Bordeaux, your top 5. Again, Bordeaux, Jesse Dalton, the 0-0 and 2, both in must-win situations to advance in the playoffs. And we're also, again, of course, watching that battle between the 45 and 95. Guangzhou still on the pit lane, getting damage fixed. Going to have to start at the tail. And for this choose, Zalecki has first choice in the Ally number 07 Ford. You know where the best place to sit here at Michigan is?
Where?
My opinion, it's right there at the entrance to pit lane, because you get to see the cars coming off the corner. So much fun. And I miss
usually is pretty fun.
Missed the choose cone, but there we go. There, a lot of folks taking the inside.
When I went to Darlington last year, I think I was close-ish to the exit of pit road. That was a great spot.
Yeah. And there you see those play standings there. Again, thank you, Antonio Ruiz. You see that 45, the first one out. Jeff Dixon has locked himself in as we get ready to go back green flag racing here from the Michigan International Speedway. Zalecki with control on the bottom. Hazard to the outside. DJ Harris, Noah Joyce, Zach Webster, and Ryan Pace. Green flag. We're back underway here from Michigan, and not a good restart from the 75 of Hazard, although looks like he'll be able to slide into second.
Yeah, at 75 of Hazard definitely bobbled there on that restart, which tells me that he spun those tires probably starting in first gear there. But already coming back strong on the back of the 07 car, already to the inside of him. Davey Hazard definitely got a strong car here with Jamie Zalecki on the outside. Coming into turn 3 here, Zalecki going to throw it in from that high lane. We'll see if he gets some momentum, but Davey Hazard just clears them and completely checks out.
Hazard goes for not a slider, but a slider down there into 3 and 4 and takes back the lead. DJ Harris now behind on the bottom with Jamie Zalecki and Noah Joyce working together really well there on the outside. Further back, 3 wide for position. Oh, boy.
Yeah, Garrett Sidner was 3 wide all the way through the tri-oval. Has a big bobble there. Hangs on to a great save, but he was 3 wide all the way through the tri-oval, riding around on the apron. You see Sean Whitehill going on by him. Zach Webster, Sean Whitehill now 1-2 spots right now. Whitehill in 8th, at Webster in 7th. So this is what we were talking about, Joe, with that Zach Webster had to be, what was it, 2 spots ahead of Whitehill?
3
spots ahead of him. But Sean now has him back in his grasp thanks to that caution. Looking up front though, Jamie Zalecki is staying with Davey Hazard now that Hazard's gone out ahead of him. Zalecki being able to use that draft to kind of manipulate a line with Noah Joyce giving him a big push. DJ Harris in 3rd, but DJ Harris in 4th, excuse me, but Ryan Pace now in the top 5 in the 5th position here.
That's another one of those PTR cars. We've seen the 75 of Hazard so dominant here tonight. Pace, of course, a team car. Have to think they have similar setups underneath those 2 Toyotas. So Pace up into the 5th position, knows his way around here at Michigan as well.
Here sitting there, Zach Webster having a great battle here for the 6th spot. Sean Whitehill behind both of them. Cam Barnes on the bottom behind both of them. Cam Barnes, a really big benefactor from that caution. I don't even think we've talked about that yet after that incident earlier that he was leading the race and got into the outside wall. Now he's been able to come down pit road, get that damage repaired. We know that he has a very fast car. Now he's got the opportunity to come out here and start making up some position as he's trying to look to the outside of the 95 of Webster. He's got a nose in on Zach, and it looks like they're going to be side by side coming across the line.
Sean Whitehill continues to fall back, now facing a challenge from teammate Steven Merzlak in the number 1. As Barnes has moved his way around Zach Webster for position.
Noah Joyce to the inside of Jamie Zalecki. 31 to the inside of the 07. You see DJ Harris going for the middle there.
Oh, Noah.
31 has to check up. That lets them all stack up, but DJ Harris, Jamie Zalecki going to come back around on the outside.
Zalecki holds on to second. Now Harris going to have a good run there to the outside of the 07. Not enough of a run to get there just yet, but move Harris up into the 3rd position after running second for most of that green flag run. 31 off the bottom a little bit. 12 Cam Barnes going to go around right in front of the field. Heavy contact with Sean Whitehill. The 01 going to go for a slide, but no contact there. Whitehill with damage to that 45. Zach Webster, don't know how he missed the wreck, and we're under caution for the 3rd time here tonight.
That's a tough break for the 12 of Cam Barnes. We were just talking about that he has damage repaired and he was good to go. Speaking of damage, Joe, I'm looking at this 45 of Sean Whitehill. I actually don't really see any damage, so I think Whitehill's good.
See the 12 going to go for the spin-a-rooney.
This looks like he caught the apron just a little bit there, guys. Left side's just a hair underneath that seam between the apron and the banking, and that's just enough to upset the car and get it really cockeyed there. And unfortunately, Sean Whitehill gets into this. But like I said, Whitehill kind of just bounces off the 12. It keeps rolling. I don't see any hood damage on that 12 machine, so I think Whitehill's fine.
Well, if you're Zach Webster in the 95, do you want to be fed this information that the 45 might have some damage? Would it change how you race? Maybe not the 45, but just in general?
Yeah, it would definitely change how you race if you thought that he wasn't going to be around, but I think the 45 is still definitely going to be around. All of them look like they're going to come down pit road here. I don't think anyone's really going to stay out with how many laps they ran. There's no real reason for it. But, Joe, now the question is, do you know if this lets them make it to the end?
No. No, we're looking at like 25 laps on fuel. So,
across the line here for 70, so yeah, they're going to be going green probably with 30 laps to go, so just a little bit outside.
And then you got to figure in overtimes, potentially. So, Zalecki completely missed the box. And made contact with the 2, so that's going to be a bad stop for the 07. They're going to lose some spots here. It's like 3rd off the pit lane, might go to the 95. Zach Webster, almost contact, almost between the 1 and the 95. It's like Merzlak not too happy. But first off the pit lane's Davey Hazard, followed by DJ Harris and Ryan Pace. Your top 3 here for the choose, upcoming down the back straightaway.
Ryan Pace now up to that 3rd spot, was able to leapfrog a few guys on pit road, so great stop for the 15 team. Puts him right in the earshot of his teammate Davey Hazard there.
Well, hey, Ricky, if you're a Davey Hazard fan, or maybe a Ryan Pace fan, a Mikey Murata fan, a Matthew Steelman fan, or maybe even a Joseph Weaver fan, any USORL driver, really, eventually, head on over now to the JTN merch store to get yourself some USORL driver merch. Again, linked down in the video description below to find yourself that new Kick Butt t-shirt on the JTN merch store. Some great designs available. Go check them out now. As there you see the choose. Again, the outside line. Saw DJ Harris think about going to the bottom there for this restart, but then think better of it, choosing the outside in that 32. Ryan Pace also choosing the outside. I think he was probably thinking the 32 would be down there, so Pace losing, you know, would have restarted third, right? Ends up losing 3 spots there because of the choose. All right, here we go. Hazard with control on the outside in the 75 into the restart zone. Green flag. We're back underway here from Michigan.
Maybe Hazard gets a great restart here on the 31. Just pulls right out ahead of these guys. Takes off into turn number 1.
Battle's going to be on for second. Noah Joyce and the 31 on the bottom. 32 DJ Harris on the outside. Joyce going to hold on to the second position. DJ going to fall back to third, but don't forget that 32, again, no bull for money on the line for that team. They're the highest of those drivers, so would take home most money out of those drivers. Meanwhile, the pack behind them is 3 wide.
Gosh, Lee, look at this big pack of cars here. 3 wide, 3 wide.
No!
Huangdo has an issue. Oh, what a Huangdo's around. This is a big wreck, Joe.
Big wreck. Ryan Pace up and over. Steven Merzlak up and over. Joe has damage. The 95 is tore up on the rear. Sean Whitehill, everyone pretty much involved further on back in the pack. What? The 0-1 just dropped anchor.
I just saw Joe, I saw a ton of fire spitting out of that tailpipe on that 01 car. I think he had a transmission issue. I think he tore out a gear.
Get a replay. Yeah, you're not wrong. I thought you were joking there for a second, but you are not wrong. Ryan Pace going for a tumble. Mikey Murata, obviously, kind of first one involved in that one.
Very unfortunate. Ryan Pace was running third, and this throws a big wrench into this whole points battle because Zach Webster took a hard shot to the outside wall. Mikey Murata, not Mikey Murata,
Sean Whitehill.
Sean Whitehill, yeah, also got involved in this. Albeit not to as extreme of a degree, but he definitely did. Actually, Whitehill, Joe,
Whitehill
Sean
might be
Whitehill,
okay.
he just spun himself out into the grass to avoid the wreck. Sean Whitehill really didn't take any hard impacts there. So I think Whitehill's actually fine, but unfortunately Zalecki got pretty hard into that outside wall. Took a lot of damage on the back end of that car. Not Zalecki, sorry, Webster. Took a lot of damage on the back of that car. So we'll see if they can repair that. I would have to think that they'll probably be able to take a good bit of that rear panel back out. Working on it right now down on pit road, but this might be... They pulled that 95's rear end out immediately. Not even a second thought on pit road. Zach Webster actually beat Sean Whitehill off of pit road. Joe, this points battle's still hot. Both cars are still good.
Let's go ahead. Let's go on board with Mikey Murata here because he's going to have a good view with this Napa onboard camera of the incident. You see the 0-1 just all of a sudden no speed whatsoever in it. Mikey nowhere to go into the back. See Ryan Pace going for a tumble. Any retirees out of that wreck?
Yes, sir. No, wait. Yeah, well, the 01 of Huangdo.
Right.
14 Jeff Dixon. I don't know if he was already out. Is out of the race. 36 is also out of the race. I think 36 was already out. This 3's out. So I think it was just the 01 from this incident, unless the 14 also left the race.
I believe 14 was an earlier thing. Let's go on board with Steven Merzlak here.
Ryan Pace. Joe, Ryan Pace, they pulled every single fender off this car, and that 15 machine now looks brand new. And he was flipping through the air. And as far as I'm looking down pit road, there was no motor off time on that, unless we hear something otherwise from Ryan. It just looks like that 15 car might live to fight another day here. Again, a report on from inside the 45 car from Sean Whitehill that the 01 randomly money shifted.
That's the second time we've seen a money shift tonight on JTN. Saw Connor Cooper in that Shetner Customs Truck Series race money shift on the start of that one. And now Huang Do does the same. And I know there's a lot of Huang Do fans out there. I wonder what happened on his stream. That's probably some good content over there. So hopefully he sends folks our way if he's not going to keep streaming. But nonetheless, folks, that is a big shuffle. And a bigger shuffle is now DJ Harris going to have control here at the choose. Going to take the outside line. And look at the difference in opinion this time. A bunch of folks picking the inside.
As a lot of guys picking the inside compared to the last few times.
DJ Harris going to have control there in the 32 on the outside. Davey Hazard on the bottom. Then Jamie Zalecki, Jack Healy, our Daytona season opener winner in that 77, up inside the top 5 for the first time tonight. Jesse Dalton there in 6th. Remember, a must-win for the 2 team. That kind of puts, that puts the battle between the 95 and the 45 completely out of the window. If you're those two, you still got to battle each other, but you're thinking about what happens with that too. And then Zach Krastowski and Henrietta Bordeaux, another one of those must-win drivers here tonight. DJ with control, green flag. We're back underway here from Michigan.
Back underway here from Michigan, and DJ Harris gets a great restart, and he takes a lead here from Davey Hazard. First time of the night, DJ Harris has been up front of this field, been running around in second for quite a while, but Davey Hazard making a good charge back on the inside.
Henrietta Bordeaux further on back into the outside wall. Evasive maneuvers. It's like we'll be okay. You see Hazard there to the inside of DJ for the lead. It's Davey versus DJ with Jamie Zalecki in tow. Like Davey's going to clear him for the lead. Hazard back to the point. Didn't take him all too long. So Zalecki now back up to second. And again, even tires now. You see Sean Whitehill has made his way up into the 6th spot right behind Jesse Dalton. And hey, look, 12 car Cam Barnes, second rally of the night, sitting there in 4th.
One doing a great job here right now. Jamie Zalecki hanging tough here in that second spot, but Cam Barnes now coming back to the inside of Zalecki. Cam Barnes has been in a lot of trouble tonight, and now he finds himself back up front, Joe.
I mean, it's a rallying cry right now for the 12 team that have taken over the 3rd place spot in the points already. And don't forget, too, we talked about it. Davey Hazard needing 11 points on Huang Do to get the overall points lead. And right now, that 0-1, I believe, is going to end up getting, like, what, 18th, 17th, 18th? Is Cam Barnes looking for the lead on the bottom? So Davey's in a good spot, too, where he can maybe take the overall points lead going into the playoffs.
Cam Barnes getting a big push from DJ Harris. They were side by side coming down the front straightaway, but Cam Barnes clears Davey Hazard for this first spot. He's going to pull right up ahead of Hazard here, put Cam Barnes on point.
17th spot for the 0-1. So again, 11-point gap there between the 0-1 and 75. So if Davey finishes better than 5th, could be looking at the overall number 1 seed heading into the playoffs next week in Iowa. Zalecki all over the back bumper of DJ. Going to look to the outside, help from the 2 behind. See where Jesse decides to go. Going to go to the bottom, help that Chevrolet brethren.
Davey Hazard going to the bottom here. 12 cars got a different agenda. Cam Barnes riding around on that high line. But DJ Harris right there. We got a car around Steven Merzlak hardened to the outside wall, Joe.
That car is destroyed. We stay green. Do we show the replay? I think we do.
Looks like the one just loses it middle of 3 and 4 by himself. Goes around, hardened that outside wall. Steven Merzlak is out of the race, so a lot of people just dropping out of this race tonight, Joe. LB, our 5th retirement of the night of the 20 cars that started this race, so 15 cars remaining in this event, 14 of them on the lead lap at the moment.
It almost looked like a tire going down on that one.
Yeah.
Top 7, all within striking distance of each other right now. Working lap 82 of 100 here from Michigan. Again, that battle between the 95 and 45. They're the last 2 cars in this group as Whitehill looking to the inside of Jesse Dalton for position. Zach Webster going to have to go with him.
Yeah, and we're talking about the 45-95. Zach Webster can run with him all he wants, but the fact of the matter is he needs that 45 to be 3 cars behind him, 3 spots behind him to be able to make it in on points. And right now, there's not a lot of guys behind him that they can lose spots to. So he's really got to... What he needs to do right now is get past Whitehill and then start passing these guys. And he's going to make a charge for the inside here, side by side with Sean Whitehill coming off of turn 2. They're in a dead heat coming down the back straightaway.
Sounds like a self-spin for the one of Steven Merzlak, so that's going to take him out of the running for the money as well as part of the No Bowl. And getting a report from the 0-1 team just to misclick on the shift. That kind of money shifted that 0-1. I forgot that term even existed, Ricky. Or, you know, it's a great term. Lap 84 of 100. I know you were saying something important. I did not tie into it whatsoever, but...
Yo, Joe.
Steven, I don't...
out here are getting a little quiet.
Yeah?
I'm thinking they might be saving a little bit.
Oh, really?
Huh. I'm trying to see this front group, not a lot, but Jesse Dalton back here has been clutching it just a hair. I haven't really heard it from these guys in this front grouping, but Jesse Dalton, the 7th spot's been clutching way further back. Noah Joyce completely rolling around here. Zach Rostowski, same thing. They are super saving right now at 4 and that 31.
I was wondering why the 15 of Ryan Pace, 31, the 4, they were so far back. Because it did, you know, obviously damage. But yeah.
Ryan's saving a lot as well. I think these guys are going to try to stretch it to the end.
And those guys are probably in a position where they started saving at the start of this run. These guys up front, they might be where they're just going to run it out, hope for a caution. We didn't see it last year, right? Like, oh man, Davey going to lose a couple spots here. Looks like he's probably popping.
Looks like he just burped the clutch, actually, Joe. Yeah. I was riding on board with him, and he just burped the clutch coming down the backstretch.
Here comes Cam Barnes to pit lane. So Cam just going to pit. Going to get it out of the way. Really aggressive coming to the pit road. Hopefully he wasn't speeding in that 12 car, but...
This is going to get very, very interesting here, because we didn't think that these guys would be able to make it. And now we got guys in the back super saving here. Ryan Pace is saving. That makes me think that there's a chance of... Knowing Ryan Pace, if Ryan Pace is saving, there's a chance that he can win this race on fuel mileage. But some of these guys up front probably don't want to see that. I know Davey is the world's biggest fuel mileage fan. He just loves doing fuel mileage races. He gets so excited every time there's a fuel mileage race. And by that, I mean he absolutely detests them. DJ Harris, Jamie Zalecki 1-2 here ahead of the 75 car.
Oh, DJ. Oh, he's into the wall.
You don't want to do that, DJ. You're gonna get the paint all scuffed.
This isn't Darlington.
keep an eye out for what's going on here, though. DJ Harris leading here as we're coming around here for 13 laps to go here. Is it 13 or 12? It's 12 laps to go from here at Michigan. DJ Harris is leading. Jamie Zalecki in second. Davey Hazard in third. Fourth goes to Zach Webster. In the fifth spot goes to Sean Whitehill there. These guys all, as far as I can tell, are kind of going full song. Cam Barnes was leading this and then came down pit road. But there's a guys at the back that are really, really saving. Really trying to see if they can stretch us out. So keep an eye out. Michigan, in real life, Michigan is quite... is no stranger to fuel mileage races. Many of them have happened over the years, and they're always pretty fun.
Oh man,
I think we're about to see some. We're about to see some fun little strategy play here, Joe.
we're about to see some. I think the phrase is fugaze. I don't know if I can say that, but I did. Here we go. This time at the line, it'll be everyone's favorite time of the night. It's time for our TWB10 to go. And while we may be saving fuel, we can save you a lot of grief if you head on over now to GardenLightsDirect.com, because from porches to patios and more, for all your outdoor lighting needs, GardenLightsDirect.com has you covered. Again, that's GardenLightsDirect.com here on your TWB10 to go. I think DJ's tires are gone.
I think you're right too. Jamie Zalecki back to the inside of him, but then Zalecki, I think it just shows how good that 32 is compared to the 07. That even on that high line,
Webster
Zach
around.
Webster over to the inside. Webster around
Into the outside wall goes the 95. There's cars coming. Will this be a caution?
We stay green.
All right, that's what I like to see, because if it's fuel mileage, let's get it green to the end. DJ
Is that
Harris.
another muddy shift there, Joe?
Was it?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think he just lost it. His
That's a
teammate
huge
dumped
thing
him.
for Sean Whitehill.
Wait. So if Cam dumped him, why wasn't there a caution?
I'm not sure, but
Because that would be
we're still
contact.
going here, I guess.
Oh man, we're gonna have to get a replay of that.
Right now, Jamie Zalecki really clutching it here, trying to save Davey Hazard in second. Third spot right now. Sean Whitehill ahead of DJ Harris, and then DJ Harris coming back past Whitehill. These guys starting to clutch it big time, trying to save as much fuel as they can.
It might be too little too late, Ricky.
Yeah, but you know, Joe, Ryan Pace in eighth is leading a bunch of guys, just all been saving like madmen. The two, Jesse Dalton coming down pit road. The 95, Zach Webster also coming down after that spin.
Oh my goodness. DJ going back on by Davey. So Hazard and Whitehill kind of really aggressive clutching it right now. Coming to lap, what? Ricky, 95?
32, DJ Harris tagging out here, coming down pit road. So there goes another one down, another one down, another one bats to dust, Joe.
6
But
laps to
now
go
this
here,
is-
right?
Yeah, 6 laps to go. This is really getting dicey. If these guys are saving right now, that really makes me think that there might be a shot that they can make it to the end.
Listen, there's a shot.
Maybe.
But by
There's a will, there's a way.
how aggressive they're getting with it, that's what would have me worried. Because the 75 and the 45 have been really aggressive. I think Jamie's going to have to pit. This time off of the corner, 5 fingers in the air, 5 laps to go here from Michigan. That's only 10 miles. And folks, 10 miles doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're using racing fuel, you use that fuel up pretty quickly. Zalecki, 5 to go here for all the Ally folks in the stands.
Jamie Zalecki got clear sailings here, but the question is, can he make it? You know, everyone pitted on the same cycle there, but Zalecki's been leading a little bit. So you got to think without some of that extra draft, it's got to hurt him a little bit. Antonio Ruiz right ahead of him in the 11. If I'm the 07, honestly, Joe, I'm getting up behind that 11. I'm just drafting on him until I got to pass him.
Yeah, now Jamie's clutching it, but it's going to be 4 to go this time, and I never know with this because it feels like it's going to be too little too late at this point. See, Antonio Ruiz is going to go a lap down there in the 11, let him on by. 4 laps to go here from Michigan. Can Jamie Zalecki stretch the fuel? There's a car around off of turn number 2. That's Cam Barnes. So he retires.
See Zalecki trying to draft Mikey Murata in the 8 there. Try to see if he can get anything to give him a hand.
I think Mikey's saving fuel too. Antonio's saving fuel. 3 laps to go this time at the line. See if Davey Hazard and Sean Whitehill decide to come down the pit lane. They stay out. Henrietta Bourdeau coming down. 3 to go for Jamie Zalecki.
DJ Harris around.
All by himself.
All by himself. We stay green.
Noah Joyce, Jesse Dalton have both made their way around Ryan Pace. Zach Krastowski also up in this group.
12 blew up is what I'm getting confirmation for, Joe.
Oh my goodness.
Jamie Zalecki, a whisper quiet coming through these turns here. That 07 Ally machine is just using every single liter, milliliter, and whatever of fuel that is in that fuel tank here.
2 laps to go for Jamie Zalecki here at Michigan. Can he make it around? 2 more circuits, 4 more miles to claim the victory here from Michigan. Oh my goodness, Ricky. I love these races, man. I love this track so much. Zalecki down on the apron, he's out.
On the inside, he's out of fuel. Jamie Zalecki is out of fuel. That's going to be Davey Hazard coming up behind him with Sean Whitehill. Can they make it to the end? Zalecki slowing the apron here in neutral, trying to coast it back. Davey Hazard really looks like Davey Hazard's out of fuel, Joe.
Sean Whitehill managed to save the fuel last year to go to victory lane. Can he do it again? This time off of turn number 4. He and Davey Hazard will see the white flag in the air. 1 final lap to go here from Michigan. White flag in the air.
I guess I stayed corrected there. I was certain that Hazard had run out, but it looked like still hanging on here. He might be out now, but Sean Whitehill ahead here in first spot. We talked about Sean Whitehill needed to get some points. Well, talk about winning the race. I could give him some good points.
Well, win gets you into the playoffs, right? Sean Whitehill in the 45. He's still got power underneath it and coming through 3 and 4 for the final time. Can he do it? 2 years in a row from Michigan off of turn 4 for the final time. Davey Hazard further on back. Whitehill out of fuel.
John Whitehill's out. Davey Hazard going to come across and take the win without any fuel. What a finish.
Sean Whitehill takes home second. He'll get the final playoff spot. And Davey Hazard will win it here from Michigan. Oh my goodness.
All of that saving that second group there. Noah Joyce gets 3rd. 4th goes to Zach Krastowski. Ryan Pace 5th. So Saban did do something there. But man, Joe, when was the last time we saw 2 guys coming across the line, both of them out of gas?
Last year right here at Michigan.
Noah Joyce giving Davey Hazard a big push here. It's going to get him back to the front straightaway. Davey's not going to be able to do burnouts, but at the very least, they could get him up in front of the start-finish line for some bragging rights. It looks like Noah Joyce is out of gas. What a wild strategy play here, Joe. And you know, again, Davey Hazard's never been bashful about the fact that he hates fuel mileage races. Absolutely hates fuel mileage races.
Is someone going to push that 75 to victory lane? Looks like
I would hope they would.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, we'll see where they go.
Oh my goodness. Davey Hazard.
I apologize for everyone at home. Looks like we're not going to have a burn it down tonight because there's no fuel left. Davey Hazard just going to bring it to his pit box. He's going to take that victory home. And you got all the bragging rights in the world there.
Well, let's go ahead and show you what happened to Zach Webster. Because we didn't get the chance to show it to you. But contact with the 12 of Cam Barnes. That's a teammate, folks. This is a replay from lap number 92. Barnes into the back of the 95 of Webster. No caution thrown for this one. And one of those moments where, you trust the drivers to call for the yellow. Neither probably did in that situation. And, man. That is,
if you want to see a really funny replay about this finish, look at the in-car cockpit view of the 45 coming out of 3 and 4 when the motor cuts out, and then compared to the 75 when the motor cuts out. Davey Hazard's motor cuts out maybe about, 100, maybe 200 yards after Whitehill's motor cuts out, and that's all that that's all that got him across the line ahead of Sean Whitehill.
There goes the 75. See the 45 out of fuel? Oh my goodness. Go on board with Davey Hazard, as you said. Let Sean Whitehill by down the back straightaway. So you're gonna go on by, take the victory. There, oh my, you're not wrong. Maybe 100 feet further down the track.
Yeah, it
before
was not
cut
a lot.
out. Nonetheless, folks, we're going to move on to our post-race coverage, get you the results on your screens after a thriller here from the Michigan International Speedway. Would like to remind you, if you're tuning in here for the end of this one, make sure drop a like on the video and subscribe to us here on JTN. It does so much to help support us, helps us with that almighty YouTube algorithm, and we appreciate it so much when you do. As we continue to kind of keep building our brand. Can't thank you enough. As always, we had our first doubleheader here on JTN tonight. We'll take a look at how it goes in the morning, but I think tonight, Ricky, was a pretty good success.
Oh, for sure. What a fantastic finish that was. You can't go wrong with fuel mileage races. I love them.
Let's get these results on your screens at home, and then we'll talk with our top 3 finishers here tonight from Michigan: Davey Hazard, Sean Whitehill, and Noah Joyce. Zach Krastowski going to take home the Noble cash. He is your highest finisher of our Noble 4 competitors here tonight. Okay, we'll get these results. I always love having to do these results so quickly for the folks at home to make sure we get them, but nonetheless, results now populating your screens. Who do you want to talk to first?
I don't know.
Let's start with our race winner.
All right.
Bringing him in, race winner tonight, Davey Hazard, driver the number 75. Davey, you got a copy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, where'd you put that extra fuel that got you across the line?
Well, I burned it, unfortunately, but if I could have it, I would have stuck it somewhere on my mantle. I've never won a fuel mileage race before. I don't think I've ever. I didn't scream that much when I won the FDF Daytona 500. I made sure to mute my mic, but I was screaming my head off. I'm so freaking excited right now.
I mean, Ricky had I'm gonna let Ricky put the way he kind of put your feelings about fuel mileage, and then Ricky can ask you a question. I'm sure it'll be great. Ricky?
Ricky's gone.
Wait, I was I don't even remember what I said in the heat of the moment.
So Ricky kept saying that you hated these fuel mileage races, Davey, and I think you kind of confirmed that. But obviously, winning one of these means a lot, but also winning tonight gets you that first overall spot in the playoffs going here into the regular season. You get the regular season points championship. That's got to feel pretty good too, doesn't it?
It does feel pretty good. I remember it's exactly what I said I was going to do at the end of last season, after how that went down, and it's good to knock it down. And when Hong had those problems, I was looking at my chops. I knew I was going to be able to get it if I just had a good finish and we won the damn thing.
Well, you won the dang thing here tonight from Michigan. It feels pretty good to win at Michigan too, especially when you work for JTN. So, we'll let you go celebrate it, Davey. But before we let you go, you know what to do, buddy. The floor is yours.
I would like to thank you guys for putting on a good broadcast. Can't wait to go back and give it a listen. All my PTR teammates and homies, and future PTR teammates and homies. All the lads, they know who they are. All the people, everyone at the USORL gives me a fun place to race. The USORL admins for giving us a good place to do our hobby for, for some people way longer than I have, but for me the last couple of years. I really appreciate the hard work of everyone a lot. You guys, the admins, all my friends and stuff that spend the time and take a few hours out of their nights every night to race with me. it's good and I appreciate it. And then of course everyone that I know in real life that's watching, hello. Thank you for supporting me driving in fake circles all day. But yeah, I'm just honestly I'm most thankful at my stubborn butt for not pitting early and just sticking it out and trying to win a fuel mileage race for once. I'm so freaking excited right now, dude.
Well, we'll let you take that excitement and go use it, put it to good use, Davey. Congratulations. And remember, folks, if you want to hear more from Davey, check out the Fake Racers podcast over on JTN2 later this week. Maybe we'll actually talk about sim racing for once, Davey.
Oh, we should.
We should. I'm gonna put it down in my notes. But Davey, as always, congratulations and good luck here as the playoffs start next week in Iowa.
Thanks, guys. We're gonna celebrate. We better have a good JTN office party for the Michigan win.
I mean, we always celebrate coming to Michigan, so winning,
Exactly.
Once we're done talking with Sean, you ask him what kind of party we throw when a JTN affiliated driver wins at Michigan. So, Davey, congrats.
Thanks, sir.
That was Davey Hazard, driver number 75, your winner here tonight. His 4th win on the season. Of course, last year championship came down to the wire and was a very disappointing run for the 75 at Homestead. Going to look to rebound from that this year in the playoffs. Let's go ahead and bring in next another driver that had a very stressful evening. He started second. He finishes right there. He does what he needs to do to make his way into the playoffs. Driver the number 45 Cincinnati Toyota, Sean Whitehill. Sean, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, I know last year, of course, we were in this spot to talk with you after the race, and it was down in Victory Lane. This time it's in the media center with the second place podium finish, but that's still got to feel pretty good, especially knowing that you're in the playoffs here next week at Iowa.
Oh, absolutely. I spent most of the season, probably like 90% of the season, outside of the old playoffs, and I didn't get myself a spot till last week or week before, and so to cap the regular season, almost going back to back in Michigan. Oh man, I'm happy. That was my first top 5 all season. I'm just happy with that. I'm just happy with that. Apex, Steven gave me a fast freaking hot rod. It gave me a fast car, and I hit the wall. I mean, I hit the wall earlier on the front stretch. I was, the F keys. I'm not quite racing on a wheel like most of these guys. My car is equipped differently. And when I was trying to make adjustments, I just smashed the wall like a rookie. And that actually kind of hindered my rocket a little bit. But finally got it repaired, and I honestly did not think it was going to be fuel mileage. I thought we were all going to be like 5 laps short, so I didn't even think about starting saving until, well, I don't know if y'all saw it. When Davey ducked out of the lead, and he slid right in front of me, that's about when I started saving. And I really wish I knew it was going to be fuel mileage. I wish I started saving maybe a lap or two before. So maybe I could have gotten back to back.
Well,
but
hey,
we'll take second.
Still more successable than those Cincinnati Reds this season, Sean. But,
oh my lord.
Hey, listen, I got a crappy baseball team too. It's okay.
Could be worse.
I don't think it can be for you. Anyways, let's focus our attention though on the ability of this team to rebound tonight, because like you said, involved in the incident, I think you had the 12 coming like broadside your car down the back straightaway. We saw the big wreck where the 0-1 lost a gear running right in front of 3-4 wide cars, and you spun the car. It was good defensive driving tonight. How much did that weigh on your mind, especially knowing that you had to kind of keep pace with the 95 of Zach Webster, because that 95 team also brought a fantastic car here tonight.
Oh yeah, his car was like really sticking on the bottom. He would try to pass me, and he did pass me a couple times on the low side. His car really stuck well down there. I, yeah, the incident with the 12. Yeah, I thought that kind of did me in. He got me right in the front, and Arrow it's huge at Michigan, and I thought like that might do it right there. But we stuck up there. We stayed up there, and then when that wreck happened, that was a freak accident. I don't know. I think after the race, Wong said his shifter knocked over or something. I don't know. It was some kind of freak accident, and of course, it happened to happen right in front of Mikey, who seemed like he has like the worst luck. Like he's legit had the worst luck this season. That happened right in front of him, so nowhere to go. Not a whole lot where all of us could go either. I just kind of put while stuck there, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but that grass down there, not a whole lot of grip.
No, it's ice.
I did another loop around there, trying to get going, but got into a couple of accidents, and fortunately, I didn't get a lot of damage out of them. So I'm happy about that. Happy we kept it in one piece, and I mean, with Apex, it has been a big time struggle this season. The Clash of Daytona, that was pretty much our peak. Everything it just went downhill from there. But we got fast cars. Like, we definitely have fast cars. It's just been a struggle trying to put it all together. Just trying to finish these things and trying to be there at the end. I mean, Steven, he got into a wreck earlier, and it just messed up. He got in the wreck with the 01, and it just messed up the handling on it. He just kept spinning, and they said F it, and yeah, and that's just been that's just been that season for us.
Well, Sean, it's been a rocky season to date. Know that you and crew are going to probably get it turned around here for the playoffs. Congratulations on the second place run here tonight, advancing into the playoffs out of the regular season. Before I let you go, the floor is yours. Friends, family, sponsors, you know what to do.
I want to thank the JTN crew. Put on another great broadcast. Can't wait to watch it later. I want to thank Cincinnati Machines. Hey, this year I rocked Cincinnati. Last year I rocked Detroit. We got the Midwest cities going on. I want to thank Menards, being the bright yellow fella. Also, I noticed in that last broadcast y'all did, someone ran a Menards truck, but it wasn't bright yellow. What's up with that?
I don't know.
Bright orange. I want to thank Diet Coke. I was sipping on that a little bit during the race. There's probably other logos on my car, but can't remember them all. I'm the one that wrapped it. Go figure. But all of the car, just look at my car. Just point to my car, look at all the logos. I want to thank all of them, every little bit of logo that's on that car. I want to thank them for sticking around all season long. And we're just getting started. Second place. It's going to be a momentum shifter.
Well, looking forward to seeing another momentum shifter here. We saw it last year after the win at Michigan. Sean, congratulations on the second place run, and thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Sean Whitehill, driving the number 45, Cincinnati Toyota, your second place finisher here tonight. We got a statement. Noah Joyce had to leave the track, has very important business to conduct back in North Carolina, so went back to the OJR shop, had to flee the track. But we do got a statement from Noah, so appreciate him and all the folks over at OJR. I'll read off Noah's statement now. Not the fastest OJR Chevrolet I've ever had. As hard as we tried and worked on it all week after lights, but it was good enough to get me to the end with a top 5. I feel like I might have honestly saved a little bit too much because I think I might have been able to get Sean for second, or maybe even the win. But I won't complain with a third or talk hypotheticals because they're useless in racing at the end of the day, right? Either way, I don't think I've ever saved fuel successfully in a run like that in the sim, so that was an incredibly rewarding and fun way to have that race play out after I fell off cycle. And because that admittedly, that was not my favorite style of racing, to say the least. Big thank you to everyone at OJR, especially Darren and the rest of the guys for the work they put in to prepare for this track. Thanks to Delphi and all of my other partners for the help getting to the track each week. Also, a big thanks to the guys at JTN. Aw, thanks for another great broadcast as always. big shout out to Davey as well for pulling that win off. We'll go to the chase where we'll try to put in more runs like that and fight for the title. So for Noah Joyce and all of OJR are going to be looking to take those OJR Chevrolets to the top here for one final run at a championship. But Ricky, oh, it was a long night. We were down in Daytona, we came up to Michigan, and now we hit the road to go to Gateway.
Yeah, just all the way, all over the place for us. But man, what a great way to cap off the night.
Hey, at least we're in the Midwest this week, because, of course, Midwest this week. I think I said something midway, but we're in the Midwest this week. Again, Gateway with the Maverick Cup Series Tuesday night, Kansas with the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series Thursday night, and then Iowa with right back here for the playoff opener with the USORL Cup Series. Folks, though, it was a fantastic night of racing. We're so glad you tuned in, whether you only tuned into this one, you tuned into the first one. You want to check each one out because they're two great races here on JTN tonight, especially a good one here coming down the fuel mileage with Davey Hazard taking home the victory from Michigan. Though, with all that being said, folks, can't thank you enough for watching. Make sure you click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We do appreciate that so much. You can check out all our social medias. Check out JTN2 as well. We got some more great videos going up over there on JTN2. You don't want to miss any of them. With all that being said, though, for Bristol, our producer, for Ricky Collette, I've been Joe Twansky. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time right here live on JTN. So long for now, folks. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checker. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh! Turn 4 into the trioval. Whitehill in through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
Off the right and a wreckage behind him. US cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down. It doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Behind, they're going to be side by side again. Contact there between Sinner and Bordeaux for third.
Contact! Oakley into the wall. That's going to be Jack Healy coming to the line.
Jack Healy wins the ride to